Now, I read this in another book. I have to find it. It's about the Benben, the Egyptian word carrying the connotation of outflow or breath. The pyramid like sacred stone or pillar that came to be the cult object of Ra in the Heliopolitan temple represents the primordial Benben, i.e., the noetic stone of the primeval hill, which emerges from the apophatic abyss of Nun as the first self projection of Atum, as the seed of the Neoplatonic cosmos noethos. Atum capere you cultivate, as hill you raise yourself up, as the Bennu bird from the Benben stone in the Abbot of the Phoenix at Heliopolis. The wondrous Bennu bird sitting at the top of the Benben is said to come from the island of Fire, having filled its body with the demiurgic Heka power, and may be compared to the self-created original solar word, which brings light into darkness. This bird of light is the primeval hypostasis of Ra, that is, the light-like intelligible being. Heliopolis represents the symbolic center of the manifested world to all theophanies. Now, a thing that is curious that Heliopolis, there was a city, the city of light was spread all over the place. Every time the Egyptians or the Greeks or whatever, the Persians or whatever, whenever they set camp, they were like, okay, this one's going to be called Heliopolis. So there were as many Heliopolis all over the place. It was like a center, I would say, a Mount Meru, a concentration of knowledge and wisdom where magicians would travel, to come and study and learn. It became the city of light, and there were many of these cities of light. I call it a Mont Meru because it's a repository of knowledge, and there has been many Mont Merus all over the place. One of the famous Mont Meru that everybody has heard is Atlantis. It was metaphorically destroyed, but there are other Mont Merus that survived. Hence, that's why we still have access to all of this ancient knowledge. So, another thing, that it says, it kind of resembles original Hinduism. The outflow or the breath comes this first projection of the primordial being. He is seeing his reflection for the first time, and the first thing that emanates from the abyss is this stone or this pyramid, they call it. The Egyptians used to metaphorically connect it with the Mount Kilimanjaro. You see, they would, because the Egyptian civilization started at the beginning of the Nile, closest to the Mount Kilimanjaro. That's where it started, and then they just went down, followed the river until it reached the Mediterranean. But this Egyptian civilization started at the root of the Nile, so they were very close to the Mount Kilimanjaro. In fact, there's this three stars that coincide in December at a specific date. It is one of these astrological curiosities. You have two, three stars. I don't know if it's Saturn, Venus, or Mars, Venus, and something else. Two or three stars, they just occupy the same spot in the 22 December, and it creates this big, bright light. And many people call it the light of Lucifer, and all others, of course, equated with the birth of Jesus and all those things. But this is a very old astronomical, tradition from the Egyptians. The three wise kings was in fact, three astronomers that traveled, from different positions of the world and knew this was going to happen. See, they met by chance and they were like, hey, are you here for the same thing? Yes, I'm here for the same thing. And came, birth the legend of the three wise astronomers. Anyway, this hill, this temple, in the form of a pillar or a pyramid, is the first projection, the first self projection, the first emanation of Atum, or for the Brahmins, Brahma, the first emanation of Brahma. And for the Neoplatonists, is called the cosmos noetos, or the world of mass and magnitude. The Bennu bird is always present in the iconography of the Egyptians, is connected with the sun and the phoenix, you know. And when you see the phoenix is of course connected with fire, the primordial fire, the demiurgic fire. It is the forge, the fire, or at the hearth fire, that gives birth to the first beings, so to speak. You know, I read something similar in ancient Vedic cosmology about this. It's very similar. The archetypes change, and but everything is almost the same. So this Bennu bird is like a phoenix that transports the demiurgic power of creation, you see, in the hearth fire, where all the intelligible beings are born. Heliopolis represents the center of the manifested world. Sure, like I said, every time, the ancients set tent, okay, this is going to be our next camp. What are you going to call it? Heliopolis, Okay.